Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays, and today we are going German heavies, and we are going as heavy as we can possibly go. We have got two games in tier 10 German heavies. We're starting off with this game in the mouse, and then we've got a follow-up game in an E-100, so I really don't think you can get any heavier in the game. This is a game from Alonso Forever. He is AFK for the first 30 seconds of the game or so, but really, when it gets into the game will heat up. Now, one of the questions I do get asked on stream or through messages quite a lot is mouse or E-100, and it really depends on your own playstyle. But personally, I think the E-100 is a far more versatile tank. The mouse has the armor, but the E-100, believe it or not, has more mobility and is probably a little bit more flexible. But we are kicking off with this game. It's on... is it Siegfried Line? It is Siegfried Line. I've been recording a lot today and I'm losing my mind. So basically Alonso is going to be heading into town because town is the natural habitat for a mouse. And he's looking for shots, and this Batchat has been really aggressive. And Alonso puts a beautiful shot in, nice high roll, 527 damage, and that Batchat's almost dead. In fact, scratch that Batchat is dead. Way too aggressive. So in the meantime, Alonso can continue to slowly trundle into town because this is not a fast tank. Now, while the mouse is the best armored tank in the game and it gets the most hit points in the game, it pays for it with really poor mobility. It also has a gun that's lacking. 246 penetration with 490 alpha damage. Basically, it's the E-75's gun. So it's not particularly accurate, and the alpha isn't particularly high, especially when you compare it to the E-100s. But this is a tank that Alonso plays a lot. He admitted that he's got quite a few ace tankers in his mouse. And he is finally going to make it into town. It's a tier 10 game and it's a 46%er, so it's a very close game. And when I'm in my mouse, one of the things I notice is as soon as I appear on the battlefield, everyone switches to gold. I think my mouse attracts more gold ammunition than any other tank I drive. But Alonso gets very lucky there. He pens the beak of an IS-7 with regular AP. He switches to premium ammo. And he's angling. Look at the way he's angling his turret. Conqueror tracks him for 0 damage. He swings around, gets a lovely snapshot into the IS-7, and the IS-7 bounces again. So he's angling, he's got his turret angled, he's got his hull angled, and the Conqueror is still able to pen him in the lower glacis, even at a severe angle. So this Conqueror is a very good player. He knows what he's doing. He's keeping an eye on Alonso and what way his gun is pointing. So Alonso is just looking for shots, poking out, and the IS-7 tracks him for 0 damage as he comes around the corner. And the Conqueror is back. Oh no, I thought the Conqueror was coming back, but no, he's not. But he's just taken his first major damage. As I say, the Conqueror did put one shot in, but he's got plenty of hit points left. The IS-7 that was giving him some trouble has been taken out, and now there's an ST-1 who's poking down, and the ST-1 pens him in the lower glacis. So for a tank that isn't that accurate, the ST-1 got a beautiful shot through the arches, penned his lower glacis. You can see that Alonso is checking. The 2 shots he's taken have gone through the lower glacis, and the ST-1 comes back for more. Now this ST-1 causes Alonso a lot of problems throughout this game, so really well played to the ST-1 player. To Dennis, and there we go, another shot from the ST-1 through the lower glacis. So this ST-1 is chewing Alonso alive. Alonso gets quite lucky with that shot, was aiming for the cheek and the shot went to the right, penned the ST-1. Is he going to get lucky next time around? So pretty much, other than one shot from the Conqueror, all the damage Alonso has received has been from the ST-1. And the ST-1 is not done with him yet. So really, really well played to that Tier 9 Russian tank, taking on the heaviest armored Tier 10 heavy in the game. So the score is 6-5. It's still a pretty even game, and then an E-100 decides to poke the corner. So once again, look at the angling. Alonso angles his mouse, goes for a snapshot in the lower glacis of the E-100. It goes in, and he's falling back. He's got an ST-1 and an E-100, and there's that ST-1 again. The Dennis 1 just will not leave him alone. Another penning shot from the ST-1. So now the mouse is side scraping, he's staying angled. Look at the angle on his turret. One of the biggest problems for the mouse is the fact that a lot of tanks can pen it through the turret cheeks if it decides to point its gun directly at them. So the E-100 rams the mouse, manages to do quite a bit of damage to himself and track himself. And because of the angling, he is able to basically bounce another E-100 shot. So you can see that Alonso knows the weak spots on the E-100, and oh, he bends the E-100. They're face-hugging, but that ST-1 comes back. ST-1 has put another shot in. Alonso angles his turret, bounces the E-100 again, puts a shot in. So pretty much Alonso has done over 2,000 damage to the E-100. He's trying to keep his lower glacis safe from this ST-1. He's angling his turret. And there we go, bounces the E-100 again. Finishes off the E-100 with a shot through his weak viewport, and he has done 2,466 damage against that E-100. So now he's going to try and get some revenge on this ST-1. But in this game, he's up to 5k damage. He may only have one kill, but he's on 5k damage. Gets a nice kill on the Conqueror. Unfortunately, again, the Conqueror pens his lower glacis as Alonso comes around the corner. The ST-1 is advancing. ST-1 is basically once Alonso. This is dangerous. ST-1 is firing premium, bounces for 0 damage, but unfortunately Alonso bounces as well. But there we go, game is over. Now I'm quite jealous because I have not managed an ace tanker in my mouse yet. I have had amazing games, I've had high damage games, I've had high kill games, but I just can't seem to get the ace. And it was one of many aces for Alonso forever in his mouse. So this was another ace tanker. He picked up high caliber and steel wall, and even though he didn't get many kills, it was still a really, really good mouse game. He finished top on XP with 1135, 6,209 damage and 2 kills. He absolutely tore that E-100 apart. He ended up doing 2,466 damage against the E-100. Really, really nice play. Really, really nice demonstration of how to angle your turret and cause higher tier tanks to bounce. He fired 15, he hit 15, he bent 14, huge amount of damage, and he received 20 hits. 9 of them were non-penetrations. His tracks did actually eat a lot of damage as well. So really, really nice performance from the armor. It seemed to work against most of the enemy tanks with the exception of that ST-1, who made it his mission in life to cause basically Alonso to have a dangerously low health game. So this guy, hats off to you. Really, really nice play in a tier 9 Russian tank against a very, very dangerous tier 10 tank in a town. But you can't sneeze at 7,560 damage blocked by armor. He damaged 6, destroyed 2, did 670 assistance damage, earned 32,000 or almost 32,000 credits with a premium account. 1702 XP on a ×3 event. I'm happy to see, along with a bonus, left him on 6,808 XP. That was a perfect example of basically how to angle your turret to cause enemy tanks to bounce a lot. Really, really nice game. It wasn't as if he was shooting lower tier tanks. Alonso forever took out, or was shooting at IS-7s. He was shooting at E-100s and a couple of very, very dangerous tier 9 tanks. So really, really enjoyed that. Really, really nice game, and thank you for sending it in, Alonso forever. Now here in the second game, we've got the E-100, the other tier 10 heavy tank. It's been driven by cjacey here on Arctic. It is a 55%er, so it's a pretty close game. Now the E-100 is a far more flexible tank than the Mouse in my opinion, and it's not just down to its mobility. It's slightly faster, has a slightly faster traverse speed, so it suits more maps a little bit more, or it suits maps a little bit better. But the main versatility that the E-100 gets is its final gun. Now, it's not a gun that comes with the tank. When you first unlock the E-100, unfortunately you get the same gun as on the Mouse, which is basically the E-75's gun. But when you do unlock the final gun for the E-100, it's a 150mm cannon. It has, again, the relatively poor penetration for a tier 10 heavy with 235mm of penetration, the same as the Mouse with the regular AP, but the difference is it gets 750 alpha damage, so it gets much more alpha damage than the Mouse has. The reason the versatility is so good is because it gets the premium ammo is very good. 333mm of penetration, and again that 750 alpha damage. But as you're about to see, the versatility is even greater with this gun because it's basically 150mm, and if you remember, the KV-2 has a 152mm gun, so it's basically a KV-2 gun. And the HE ammo, as soon as the game settles down and lets me show you, you can see that cjacey is firing HE in this game, but the HE ammo has 85mm of penetration and 950 alpha damage. So a lot of E-100 drivers fire a lot of premium ammo because the penetration is quite high, but premium ammo can bounce. And cjacey is up against very well armored tanks here, and he has only been firing HE. Now, this is a really good game, but the really interesting thing that I haven't mentioned so far is he is firing HE almost exclusively. He's got a lot of HE on the tank. He is already up to 1,000 damage by shooting hull down tanks that would normally be bouncing his regular AP and his premium ammunition. But because he's firing HE, because he's got a high caliber gun or a big caliber gun, he is doing a lot of damage. So not only is he doing damage, but he's taking out modules, he's taking out crew members, and he basically spends this entire game firing almost exclusively HE. And it's one of the reasons I think I like the E-100 a lot more than the Mouse. The ammo choices give you a lot of versatility. There we go, another 368 damage on the cupola on that E-75. Now, if he was firing, as I say, the other ammo types, he would be on much lower damage and may not have done any damage at all. But he's up to almost 1,400 damage. These tanks have taken up really strong positions, but it doesn't matter because cjacey is firing HE. And there we go, another hit, 459 damage. So I've put replays up on the channel before. I remember I put a snapshot video up where someone in a T-57 Heavy was playing against an enemy E-100, and the enemy E-100 was a good player, but he bounced 4 shots on the T-57 Heavy because he was firing premium ammo exclusively. And I think it's a mistake to rely on your premium ammunition when you're in an E-100. I've put up ace tankers in the E-100 where I was just firing the regular AP. And I think after watching this replay I might revisit the E-100 and maybe put some more HE in it. Because when he came up against those very dangerous tanks, the HE performed really well, even though they were in a strong position and hull down. So he's gone for his first regular AP round, and he's advancing, and he spotted a lot of tanks in front of him. So there we go, there's cjacey's first kill. He takes out an FV-215B with regular AP. He hasn't had to fire premium. So look at this, he's angling his turret, and the IS-8 bounces. So he's back to his regular AP, he's going to advance the corner again. And he's moving in on this IS-8, trying to get the gun depression. Finds it, takes him out for 522 damage. There's kill number 2, and he's bouncing a Leopard PTA because he's angled. The ammo choices on the E-100 are basically the main reason I much prefer it over the mouse. So he's not done, he's still looking for more victims. He's back to the regular AP. And he sees a Batchat, he sees a Leopard. These tanks in front of him are all relatively poorly armored. But he's not going to reload. It does have quite a long reload on the tank, and he's not going to reload as long as he's got a shell in the chamber. So he's looking for shots on this Leopard. Doesn't take the snapshot. The Leopard is able to pen him because he's side on. He's at a bad angle to this Leopard. And now Artie is coming into play. Okay, Batchat. He's in quite a dangerous position here. Lots of enemy tanks are going to be able to poke. Lots of enemy tanks are going to be able to put shots into him. I think he realizes that the position is no good, and he advances. So again, good skills, good awareness. Knew he was going to accomplish nothing from the position he was in. He's up against some very good players. They're going to wait for him to turn his turret one way, and then they're going to poke out and they're going to fire. So now he's moved into a stronger position. There is going to be a Batchat above him. There's a Leopard in front of him. But he can advance. He just needs to worry about the Batchat maybe getting a clip into him from behind. But he advances. Takes out the Leopard PTA. Switches back to his HE. And the reason he's switching back to the HE is because all the remaining enemy tanks are either lightly armored or on low health. So he's on 3 kills, 3k damage. Batchat's up here. Almost had a shot. Decides to go for a snapshot past the bunker. Manages to put a huge hit into the Batchat for 854 damage. And Artie's not done with him. Artie puts a big hit in as well. But he's still on the HE. He's almost reloaded. Takes out the GW Tiger B for kill number 4. So really, really nice play. 4k damage, firing almost exclusively HE. He's still on the HE. These tanks are on low health. He doesn't even need to pen them. Unfortunately hits the gun mantlet and only does 205 damage on the Pershing. Immediately falls back. Prevents the Pershing from getting a shot on his lower glacis, and then he moves forward again. Only 1 tank left on the enemy team. There's going to be no Top Gun here. But the fact he's done 4.5k damage, firing almost exclusively HE, pretty much shows what a monster the E-100 can be. And I really think if you spend all your time firing premium ammo in this tank, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because he doesn't need to pen, he takes out the Pershing for kill number 5 and secures the game. So while the mouse really is a city tank, it doesn't like big open maps. It's susceptible to a lot of fire from a lot of directions due to the fact it's so slow. It may have the armor, but it's not maneuverable. I think the E-100 is a far, far more versatile tank. As I say, it's faster, it's got faster traverse speed. Its armor may not be as good, but it's still really, really well armored. You've got to know how to angle to get the best out of it. But this gun just gives you so much versatility, and it's because of replays like this that you guys sent in that I actually learn a little bit more. And I think the big thing I've learned from this game is why waste even AP. I don't like firing premium ammo in my E-100, but why even waste AP on difficult cupola shots on enemy tanks that are hull down when I can just use HE. The HE on this tank is awesome. So it was an ace tanker, it was also a steel wall for cjacey, and he finished top on XP with 1291, 4,661 damage and 5 kills. He fired 13, he hit 13, and he penned 13. That's not technically correct because he was firing HE, but he did even manage to get 1 splash damage. He received 11 hits and blocked 1590 damage with his armor. So not a lot of tanks were shooting at him. He didn't actually deflect that much damage with his armor, and Artie put a big hit into him. He spotted 4, damaged 8, destroyed 5, did 1800 assistance damage, and earned 36,500 credits in a tier 10 heavy by firing HE, which is one of the cheapest ammo choices on the tank. 1936 XP with a premium account on a ×2 left him on 3,872. Now, while you guys can't see it, and it doesn't really show in what replays, you can see that he did 1 crit on the IS-8, another crit on the Batchat, he did 3 critical damage shots on the E-75, and even managed a crit on the Pershing. So that is the benefit of the E-100 and firing HE. So 2 really nice replays today, guys, from 2 very heavily armored tanks. I want to thank Alonso Forever and cjacey for sending those in. I hope you guys enjoyed watching them, and I'll see you next time.